So I remember watching the movie Ali, and I've seen this interview as well too, where Howard Cosell, the journalist, asks Muhammad Ali about the question, asks him about his return because he's fighting George Foreman, right? And he was like, you're not the man that you used to be. So Muhammad Ali, with his witty self and his, rapport with Howard Cosell, responded. He said, "You know what, Howard? I didn't want to take it there with you, but I spoke to your wife, and she said you're not the man you used to be 2 years ago, or whatever time he said." And the audience, bust out laughing. I said it to say this: we know that women go through menopause, right? That's why they probably think we're the root of their problems. But what do men go through? You know what I mean? What about me? What about Raven? So our menopause is womanopause. No, I'm just joking. Is andropause. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because really something I think that's often overlooked in the fitness space when it comes to hormonal health, particularly dealing with men. All right. So you already know I got my notes in front of me and whatnot. So let's get to it. All right. So when it comes to andropause, right? We're gonna talk about the myths too and why it's important, how we can correct it. All right. So some people think, all right, so let's begin at what it is. Andropause is the gradual, keyword on gradual decline in testosterone and other androgens that happens as men age, typically around 30s. The thing with the drop is only 1 to 2% per year. So that's where it's tricky because it's not a slope. It's not a cliff, it's a slope. So it takes its time. So most of us overlook the detail work, right? But God is in the details, right? So over time, by you catching it, it'll be too late. You'll be like, oh shit, I didn't know what was going on, right? So when these things add up, so how do we catch it? So usually, like I said, by the time we're in our 50s and 60s, that's when it's already almost like too late, or the damage already has been done. But thankfully, you came here, so we show you how to reverse that to the best of our abilities. All right. So, and another thing too, when it comes to testosterone, we only think about libido. It's more than that, right? Um, Testosterone also deals with muscle protein synthesis, bone density, and red blood cell production. Definitely your mood regulation, deals with insulin sensitivity and cognitive function. So it's just not about, uh, what I'm saying, getting a good wood. That's part of it, but there's other factors as well. So when your testosterone drops, as most of us know, it really don't show up where most people expect it to. For example, like fatigue really doesn't fix it. Your strength, you realize you're not progressing how you normally would be in the gym. You hit a plateau. You've been consistent in the gym too as well. Increased body fat, especially around the midsection. Mood change, brain fog, and of course, sexual function definitely plays a part too. All right. So when we think about it, right? How can I put it? These are signs, and I always tell clients this too. Your body talks to you, but you got to listen to it, and we can't overlook little aches and pains in our body to always raise a signal. It's just almost like a car. You get your check engine light on. It's the same thing with your body. All right. So we're gonna talk about some of the myths real quick before we get into the solutions. Right. So myth number one. Right. People think that it's just aging. There's nothing you can do about it. That's false. Lifestyle definitely plays a part. With your training, your sleep quality, body composition, and chronic stress. You know, because hormonal changes as we age, but we can control to the best of our ability. Mentioned with those things beforehand, right? So focus on the things that you can control. Number two, this is the extreme. People just get on TRT. Now we're in the time where everybody just wants to take a pill and get overnight success. It don't work like that, right? Because remember, even if you're taking TRT or any external hormonal replacement therapy, please keep in mind that is another form of supplementation. So you still have to do the basics first, then add those things in to give you that added boost or help that you need. Okay. So I did videos on GLP and GLP-1s and TRT treatment, so you can check that out, right? So, but TRT definitely is not a substitute for like the fundamentals, like I said before. So constantly go to your doctor, get your blood work checked out, try to eat right, more wholesome food, eliminate the processed foods, um, work out consistently, strength train, those things like that, and get your checkups, man. All right. Let's see what else. All right, cool. So those are the two extremes there, right? Now we're gonna get to the practical application. I tell all my clients this as well. You got a resistance train, I'm compound king and progressive overload, not aggressive overload. So your compound lifts are movements that train or involve more than one muscle group. So like your squats, your deadlift, your presses, overhead or bench press. You know what I mean? The multi joints movements, right? That would keep you functional, right? And actually, those support healthy testosterone levels, right? Especially your squat and deadlifts. You know what I mean? All right. So this is about mechanical tension, not so much of the pump, right? Sleep is very important. I think sleep is very underrated. That's one of the questions I always ask my client, both men and women. How did you sleep? Because I would know how to gauge you in your performance too. And if you're lying, I could just tell how you're moving away, right? So the majority of daily testosterone release is tied to sleep architecture, specifically deep and REM sleep. That's rapid eye movement sleep, right? So it's directly sleep is directly suppresses the hormonal environment we're talking about. So you got to get your sleep. And body composition, specifically visceral fat. That means fat around the organs. All right. And remember, you definitely want to hold a lot more around your gut area. You don't want that. Definitely not. So excessive visceral fat increases aromatase activity. That's an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. All right. For all you soy boys out there. Now I'm just teasing. But that's one of the leading contributors to high estrogen. So this creates a feedback loop: more visceral fat, more conversion, lower functional testosterone, right? So which makes fat loss harder, which perpetuates the cycle. Okay, so this is actually why waist circumference matters more than most men think past 40. So don't believe all that bullshit when you see on social media when these girls talking about, oh, we like dad bods. They're lying to you. Don't believe that shit. Ask me how I know. All right. Also, I know it's not easy being a man in today's society. Well, no society at any time, really. But one thing we have to do is manage our stress. This is another thing in cortisol management. So cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. That means one goes up, one goes down under chronic stress situations, right? That doesn't mean stress is the enemy. Some stress is the entire mechanism of adaptation, which is a good stress, right? But sometimes the conversion. Well, I'll do another video. I even spoke about that too before. You know what I'm saying about stress and how to manage it and all that good stuff, right? But the chronic, unmanaged, unrecovered stress is the problem. So you're getting stressed out. And one way to manage stress, what I found beneficial, is simply worry about things that you can control. Anything that's out of your control, don't even stress that shit. It is what it is. Not saying that you have a passive approach to it, but it helps you navigate life a whole lot easier. Trust me when I say this. I just did my blood pressure the other day. They looked at me, they was about to pass out because how low my blood pressure was. I was like, I don't be stressing. I don't try to at least. And another thing too, which is so key, because we also talk about macronutrients. And if you need a macronutrient coaching and meal plans, hit the link in the description and reach out to me. See if I can help you. That's a shameless plug. But micronutrients, your water, minerals, and vitamins, particularly vitamin D and zinc. Some say you have to pair vitamin D with I think K3, I think, because it helps convert better. But and zinc. And you have to get out in the sun as well. But those are the two more common deficiencies side with suboptimal testosterone levels in men who otherwise eat reasonably well. I take mine. I take with my vitamin D. I take because my output is crazy. That's why too. Because I work out a lot. I take 10,000 IU's. I know one contained 5,000 IUs, so I double it. But start off with 5. The prescriber amount is like 1, and then you go up. You know what I'm saying? You could do it like that, but I would always suggest that you check your blood work first to know where you are, because it doesn't make sense if you in a good level and then you OD and take 10. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. All right. So this is just basic stuff, man. There's nothing exotic or crazy that you got to do. All right. It's just fundamentals. Like I said, we just stick to the basic, keep it simple. And over the years, you get to track your period, your progress. All right. So if you notice like a lot of these these symptoms, pardon me, not just one, but sustained, not like in a week, or I feel tired in a week and the next week. We're talking about chronic over a period of time. Get your blood work done. Can before you get on TRT and GLP-1s and all that other shit. Check your blood work. Try to master the basics first, and then if you can see the results that you want, then I would suggest you to go on those things. All right, and get your testosterone drawn. I get mine done, I think, about 3 times a year. Definitely twice a year at least, just to see where I am, because I also take certain herbs as well. You know what I mean? Like Tonkat Ali, um, maca root, black maca, um, what else? For Dojo agressus, stuff like that. But like I said, that's just supplements. I don't rely on that. I make sure I get my sleep. I train. I try to eat well, eat more clean, less processed food, more whole foods, fruits and vegetables. I take my vitamins and say my prayers. You know what I mean? So those things like that definitely will help. And don't self-diagnose, because I know as men, we're afraid to go to the doctor. Do not go to the doctor. It ain't gonna hurt you, especially if you have insurance. And now you can get one of them government insurance too. You know what I mean? Just to going just to see where you are, man, because you got to start taking care of yourself. You got to prioritize yourself first. That's the only way you're going to be good to anyone else. You know what I mean? All right. So don't think because you're getting older, it's the end, or I'm getting old, it has to be like this, or you have to break down. And that's one of the misconceptions that I really don't understand. As you age, you should be like fine wine, not milk, because you've learned now from your experience, your past experience, how to fine tune certain things, right? And slow down the deterioration of your body by being more smart and more precise as you get older. Like measure twice, cut once. It's about being efficient as you get older, more refined. All right. And work on that grown man strength too as well. All right. So that's my conclusion right now. So, put in the chat what you guys struggle with. You know what I'm saying? And if you actually had your testosterone checked, and what were the adjustments that you've made? Because I'm pretty sure there's other people that's watching this video that like to know and hear from you as well. All right. So this is Alchemy Fitness signing off, where we transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Peace.